Hi, I'm going to go over PHP Variables and Scope. So a variable is a container that stores information. And when we are creating variables, we want to choose names that make sense, that when we come back to our code or others are working on our code, they're able to figure out what they mean. And formatting our variables, we want to choose either camel case, underscore, or run on. Either of those works. We just want to make sure that we're staying consistent through our code. So below right here, I've made some variables and assigned those variables values. Something that we want to look at is when you name your variable, you want to always start with a $sign. Then it needs to be followed either by a letter, or we can also start it with an underscore. Okay. You can have numbers, but it can't be the first character after the $sign. Okay. So let's take a look at some variables I made. I have $sign name that I used an equal to give that the value of Mike. And then, so that's a string. And then we have a pi variable with pi to a certain amount of digits. That's a float type. Then we have sides of square. That's 4. Okay. So these are all making sense. Okay, the names that I've chosen and the values for them. We have I am awesome. That we're going to say that's true. And we have favorite cereals. This one is a array type, and it says Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruit Loops, and Reese's Puffs as string values for that. All right. So we also have an object type that we saw in our last project that we did. This is creating a new PDO object for the connection for our site. Not going to go into that. Just wanted to show you. And let's take a quick look at displaying the value of variables. So we can use either echo or print. Just pick one and stick with it. So I chose echo. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. We can take a look at what this is doing. So as you see in the quotes, I have hello, exclamation mark, and then I have $sign name. This is taking the value that I assigned to name variable, Mike, and it is printing that. Okay, maybe I should change this and say hello, Mike. See if that works. Hey, look at that. Cool. All right. Now, something to realize is that if we do the same thing with single quotes, we get, well, I don't know why that $sign was there. Okay. Instead of giving us the value that was stored in the name variable, it is just giving us literally what the name of the variable is. Okay. And that's because when you have single quotes, it takes it as a string literal, so it'll say exactly all the characters that are in that string. When we use double quotes, it's called interpolation, and it'll print out the characters, but it'll also notice when we have variables and to swap those out for their values. All right. One last thing is I wanted to go over is scope. Okay. So currently all these variables that I've showed you are global variables. Okay. And so they can only be accessed in the global scope. Now I made a function right here. It's called my function. Okay. And I'm going to try to call one of my global variables inside my function. Okay, let's go ahead and save. Okay, we get an error saying undefined variable pi. Okay, and that's because pi in here, I'm trying to declare a global variable that's not in the same scope as global. Okay, inside our functions, this is called local scope. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and comment that out. And so we're going to notice, I'll save that. Okay, and I have another variable inside here, a local variable that I can call inside here. Okay, so I have x, I've signed 5, and we're going to display that now. Okay, so you can see it printed 5. Okay, now if I try to take this echo and bring it out to global and try to print it, we're going to notice we're going to get another error, undefined variable. Okay, so some things just to remember is make sure when you're doing your code to remember what scope you're in to be able to access your variables. All right, well that's all I have. Thanks for watching my video.